Hello, this is your boy Bill Eshkababa, and today I'm here with another video, and I'm talking about a subject that's disappointing me, and it is Hearthstone. So people who have seen the channel, I'm a huge Blizzard fan. I play Overwatch constantly. I play Hearthstone every day. I'm consistently probably in the top rank 5 to rank 1 each month. I play Heroes of the Storm, I've played World of Warcraft, I've done unboxings for StarCraft, Diablo, World of Warcraft, Overwatch, all of these games on my channel. I'm a huge fan of Blizzard games. There's no denying this. So many people should know this by now if you're a Blizzard fan, if you're a Hearthstone fan, that there is a new expansion coming out, and it is One Night in Karazhan. So people know Karazhan from a famous World of Warcraft raid. Well, they've done it, but in how it was back when Medivh wasn't evil and he used to have parties there, and it's a cool concept. My disappointment comes with the cards of the set. So all the cards have been announced, they've all been shown, and there are a lot of cards in this set which are filler. A lot of cards that I think don't need to be printed, that didn't need to be printed, that won't be used at all, and that's kind of what I'm feeling disappointed about. Will I get this set? Probably. There are a few cards that might be used, but overall I think that it is a disappointing set compared to League of Explorers that introduced so many good cards, and Blackrock Mountain and Naxxramas, which all had good cards, strong cards that were meta defining, and these really don't feel like that at all. So I'm just going to do a quick rundown of each card and my opinion on it. Starting with the Druid cards, we got Moon Glade Portal, 6 health, 6 cost, restores 6 health, summon a 6 cost minion. That will probably be used in some Druids because it's a powerful effect. You heal yourself for 6, you summon a 6 cost minion. That is a pretty good card, pretty good effect, and a lot of tempo there. Then there is the Warden for the Druid. It's a 6 cost 5/5. Choose a friendly beast and summon a copy of it. That's a very powerful card. You can summon a Stranglethorn Tiger. You can play it on turn 5. It's stealth. Then play this on turn 6. You can summon Druid of the Claw and do a copy of it. And this card really pushes Beast Druid, which Blizzard have been trying to push, and being a 6/5/5, good stats. And the last card for Druids was the Enchanted Raven. It's a 1 cost 2/2, very strong with Mark of it's a beast, very strong with Mark of Yasharaj. You play this on turn 1, you play Mark of Yasharaj on turn 2, you get a 4/4 draw card, very strong. For Hunter, there has been a new secret, Cat Trick. After your opponent casts a spell, you summon a 4/2 Panther with stealth. That's pretty good secret. It's not the best secret, but it is pretty good. And it gets better due to the following card, which is the Cloaked Huntress. Your secrets cost 0. So currently, secrets, traps for hunters have not been used since Mad Scientist left. They just cost too much to play, and you don't get enough value on the turn you play them. But since they'll be costing 0, it might be worth running a few secrets on it. Maybe a bed trap, maybe this. If they hit you in the face, you get a bed trap. If they play a spell, you get a Stealth Panther. Works good off Houndmaster. Not too bad. And lastly for hunters, it's a Kindred Grandmother. It's a 1/1 Death Rattle, summon a 3/2 beast, big bad wolf. Both of them are beasts. I see merits to this card because I did try a Death Rattle Hunter deck, and right at the beginning of the Whispers of the Old Gods with Nozothan stuff, it was working out perfectly, and then slowly it died off, and it became not viable at all. The only problem with this is, are you going to pay 2 mana for a 1/1 that turns into a 3/2 when you can already play Huge Toad, which is a 3/2 and spits for 1/1? So that's kind of the thing. Now with the Princess, the Hunter legendary card from Whispers of the Old God, this is better due to the fact that if you get her on this, you get a 3/2, and you still get the 1/1, and you trade into 1/1, you get another 3/2. It's better than this Toad, which all you can get is a spit from it, which is a 1. But it's a bit slow. It might be used in Death Hunter, but it's got the Toad to compete with. Might replace the Toad, might not. Depends. Mage, we've got Babbling Book. It's a 1-cost 1/1. Draws a mage card, a random mage spell. Is that good? Maybe, maybe not. Why not just include the spell that you want? And I think Tempo Mage already has their deck completely worked. They don't need anything else. They don't want anything else because their deck's already performing perfectly. So I think Mana Worm's better than this. Of course it is. And this card probably won't be used that much due to this fact that you might get something you don't need. And do you really need to play a 1/1 that will draw you a thing? So I don't see that being played that much. Firelands Portal, very good in Arena. Of course, I'm mostly focusing on Constructed. A 7, do 5 damage, summon a 5 cost. It's pretty alright, but it's very expensive in Constructed for 7. Medivh, Valiant, Valet. If you control a secret, deal 3 damage. 2/3. If secrets in Mage have been pretty popular, but I'm not sure if you're going to play a 2/3 that can deal 3 damage. If you have a secret, you're already pretty set up, so I think that's probably a filler card as well. Over for Paladin, we've got the Ivory Knight, 4/4. Discover a spell. And then recover its mana cost as health. That's a pretty good effect, but 6/4 is kind of weak. It's a lot weak. It's very weak. But it's, I guess, okay if you're a long, controlling Paladin. You got another heal, you draw a spell, you heal yourself. It's card draw, it's heal. It's not a terrible card. I just don't see it being used that much unless in Control Paladin, which does rely heavily on heals. Silvermoon Portal, it's a 4 mana. Summon a 2-cost dude, give a dude 2/2. Probably see a lot of play in Arena. In Constructed, probably too slow. You've already got the press the button. Your hero power summons a guy. And you can always Blessing of Kings. So I don't see too much value in that. And lastly, a 3/2/3 Night Bane Templar. Of course, if you're holding a dragon, summon a 1/1 whelps. 2 1/1 whelps. So that's, I guess, good value for, let's say, your Keep of Uldaman to buff up the whelps, or in a kind of like a dragon. Paladin can use her, or even that Paladin which has the Darkshire, which gives you the Divine Shields on 1/1, because then you can summon a 2 whelps which have Divine Shields 1/1, although that's technically more of an aggro deck, and this is more of a dragon deck, so I don't see them fitting together very well, but it's an okay card for a dragon. It's a very high tempo card for a dragon Paladin. Priest, terrible. 3 filler cards. Terrible, terrible cards for priests. They're absolutely worthless. Onyx Bishop, a 5-cost 3/4. Summon a friendly minion that died this turn. It's basically Resurrect with a 3/4 body for a 5-cost. Priest. The problem with Priest is they have no early game. They can't control the board in the early game, and then they get outvalued at tempoed, and then they just die. This guy's a 5-cost 3/4. If you play this and you summon something that's 3/2 or something weak, other classes are just gonna chomp this up. Like Zoo will chomp this up. Warrior will destroy this. Even Hunter will destroy this with on turn 5. If they go on turn 5 and then you're going turn 5, they can play like Stranglethorn Tiger, or the Priestess, which is a 6/5, which activates Death Rattle. So that's just pointless. It's not a good card. The Priest of the Feast, a 4-cost 3/6. 3/6 is okay stat line. Whenever you cast a spell, restore 3 health to your hero. Does Priest really need to restore health to itself? It's already got its hero power. It's already running Arcanine Soul Priest, Arcanine Soul Priestess, and when they run her, they run Flash Heal. They run 2 Flash Heals. They've already got the Cthulhu dude that gives them 10 health back. I don't see this being played anywhere. It's not played in Cthulhu. It won't be played in the Flash Heal kind of one, because then you will be doing 3 damage to yourself if you run Arcanine Soul Priest, so it's worthless. And then the worst card probably ever made in Hearthstone, Purify. Silence a friendly minion. It costs 2. You silence a friendly minion and you draw a card. This is terrible because you already have a 0-cost silence in Priest. No one runs it, no one plays it, it's worthless. And it costs 0, and it's a silence anything. This one you have to silence your own person and draw a card. So draw cards basically costs 2. So you can say, well, it's like a Warlock Hero Power. Yes, but a Warlock Hero Power draws you a card from your deck. This would actually take a space in your deck to have this in your deck. I know some people have been saying, well, what about Eerie Statue? That's a 7/7. Can't attack if there's anything on your board. You play that, then you play this. Now it can attack and you draw a card. It's kind of like the Faceless Flameless from Shaman, which is a 4/7/7 2 overload. It would be the exact same, which is 4/2/2. But the problem with that is that you would have to take up room for 2 slots in your deck, or 4 if you're running 2 of each, where the Shaman only takes 2, and Overload is not a drawback on Shaman, because they have Tunnel Trog, and they get more power from Tunnel Trog whenever they play that 7/7. So, it's just a terrible card. Rogue's doing pretty okay. Ethereal Peddler, reduce the cost of cards in your hand from other classes by 2. That's a battle cry. It's a 5/6, so it's pretty strong. 5/6 is really strong for 5. See, a 5/6 compared to the Priest, which is a 5/3/4. So the Priest one's absolute shit. It's pretty good if you have like Burgle, Undercity Hucksters used a lot. So I can see value in that card. I can see that card being alright. Then the next rogue card is a 3/2. It's called the Deadly Fork. When it dies, you basically get the Deadly Fork to stab people with. It becomes a weapon, which is 3/2. 3/2 weapons, not too bad. With a minion, weapons are pretty good. It's a death rattle, so I guess it can fit like N'Zoth and bring him back. It's okay. I'm not sure. I think whenever you get a weapon, weapons are really powerful. So you can play this guy 3/2 on turn 3 is pretty weak, but then you get the fork, and then you can use your health to kill off minions, and the fork's a 3/2, so it's basically a fiery war axe. It's okay, it might see some play, and it's a death rattle, so N'Zoth brings it back. Swashbuckler, it's a pirate, it's a 1/1/1, can be played 1 on turn 5. Add a random class card to your hand from your opponent's class. Battle Cry. This is a good card because it's cheap. It costs 1/1/1, and you get a random card, and it's a pirate. If there's anything like a pirate rogue happening, so that's a pretty good card, and it can fit straight at the beginning. And you can draw a card. You get a 1/1. And rogue sometimes has a problem where they don't really play anything on turn 1. If they don't have the coin, so they can't coin out something, so they're like waiting. That might fit like in there. And it also fits with Ethereal Peddler, where it steals a card from your opponent's class. If your opponent's a warrior, then you play Ethereal Peddler. That cost gets reduced by 2. Becomes pretty good. We go Shaman. Shaman gets Melstrom Portal. It's a 2-cost spell. Deal 1 damage to the enemy minions. Deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. Summon a 1-cost minion. So it's a very cheap board clear to clear off zoo, I guess, or stuff that's 1/1. It's a pretty good card. It's a board clear, summons a dude. Can summon a tunnel trog for them, so they can have 3 tunnel trogs. So it's not too bad. Wicked Witch Doctor. 4 cost, 3/4. Whenever you cast a spell, summon a random basic totem. Shaman's got so many good cards, and they've got a 4/7/7. They're not going to replace him with her. So this card won't see play. It's a 4/3/4. I mean, summons a totem. Who the hell cares? That's shit. Spirit Claws. It's a weapon. It's a 1/1/3. It has +2 while you have spell damage, so it becomes a 3/3 on turn 1. Of course, you can't guarantee you're going to get the spell damage totem, and because you can't guarantee that, this weapon, they don't have room for it. They've got Tunnel Trog, and then on turn 2, they've got Totem Golem. They might include the Melstrom Portal for like a board clear if they need it. So they don't have room for that. Shaman's got so many good cards that doesn't make the cut. Warlock. We basically got Silverware Golem. It's a 3/3/3. Pretty good, 3/3/3. But the flavor text is what's interesting. If you discard this minion, you summon it. So you can see it being played with Doomguard or Succubus. Playing Succubus, which is a 2/4/3 discard a card. If you discard this card, basically your turn 2 play would be summon a 4/3 and a 3/3. That would be crazy. And this pushes that whole discard mechanic that Warlocks are supposed to get it. Will it replace Zoo? Will it replace Reno Lock? Probably not. Those two are very good decks, very powerful decks. Zoo's like strong as hell. But it might fit into Zoo because they do run Doomguard, and 3/3/3 isn't bad stats, and they do run Doomguard, so you can see a world where they have 2 of these in their hand. They've got a Doomguard, they play Doomguard, and they summon 2 3/3s. So it might see play. It's probably a good card, and it probably will see play. Kasam. It's a spell for Warlock. It summons a 1/1 Candle, a 2/2 Broom, and a 3/3 Teapot. You get 6 worth of stats divided by 3 bodies. They're not going to play this. Maybe Reno Lock might find room for this, but I doubt it. Zoo won't find room for this because Zoo's already got so many minions that die and resummon, and they've already got better cards to put on turn 5. They put in smaller, cheaper cards. So I think that card's worthless. Malkazab's Imp. Whenever you discard a card, draw a card. So again, another discard. It's a 1/1/3. 1/1/3 is a good stat line. You're going to have to discard a card to draw another card. I don't see this card being played, although if a discard archetype, like a discard Warlock, becomes a thing, this card will be in it because it's got a discard feature. Besides that, it's not going to be in Zoo. And lastly, for this bit of this video, Warlock, we've got Protect the King. It is basically Unleash the Hounds. It costs 3. It's a spell. For each of your enemy minions, summon a 1/1 pawn with Taunt. Taunt's not as good as Charge, because Charge is, you can act, it can go face, it can go straight away, while Taunt basically stops and waits a turn. This card's pretty bad and pretty worthless due to the fact that there are so many cards now that do 1/1 board wipes. Warriors everywhere right now on ladder, and a lot of them are playing the Ghoul, Ravaging Ghoul that came out in Whispers of the Old Gods. That basically is a 3/3, and it wipes everything for 3. It wipes everything for 1, so it would clear the board of these pawns. Melstrom Portal, a card that I just talked about for Shaman, is basically a 2-cost spell. Deal 1 damage to all enemy minions and summon a 1/1. That's another board clear. Wipes it. You got Fan of Knives, wipes it. You've got, which rogues are running, you've got that Flame Caller from the mage. Can I light your fire? That guy wipes them as well. This Swipe, which is the thing, wipes them as well. So I don't see this card being played at all. Fool's Bane, a weapon, a 5, 3, 4, unlimited attacks each turn, can't attack a hero. So it's a board clear that does damage to yourself. Very good in Arena, won't see play, I think, at all in Constructed, because if you're taking that much damage in the face, some of these decks will finish you off, because they want you to take damage to the face. And lastly, Ironforged Portal, the last portal, gain 4 armor, costs 5, gain 4 armor, summon a random 4-cost minion. It's a good tempo play. It might work in some sort of control. They usually run 2 brawls. They might replace a brawl for this, because this is a little bit more protecting yourself because it gives you 4 armor, but also summoning a minion, while brawl sometimes, if you're up against another control, brawl is basically worthless. So having 2 brawls sometimes is bad. They might replace a brawl with this, although this doesn't really fit the same as brawl, except they both cost 5. But that's basically it. That's the first part of the video of my review of the cards for One Night in Karazhan. Those were all the cards for the classes: Druid, Hunter, Mage, Paladin, Priest, Rogue, Shaman, Warlock, and Warrior. I'll then do a video about all the neutral cards and what I think about them. So, have I been right? Have I been completely wrong? I'm not sure. The expansion hasn't come out yet, but most of those cards I think won't see too much play. But I would like to see what you think about it, so please do not forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Bilishka Vava.